One last thought about fly lines, a question that I get asked all the time, and I failed to mention it when we were talking about fly lines. This is an interesting question and a good one to know. So, how long does a fly line last? Well, okay, that's going to depend on a couple things. There is an industry standard, but that is predicated on the fact that you are taking care of your fly line and doing good fly line maintenance, which I'll mention that real quick as well. But the industry standard would be in the neighborhood of, now I have to make sure I say this right, 250 fishing days, not 250 days, 250 fishing days. Now, if you said I average one fishing day a week, that's 4 or 5 years. So take that for what it's worth and for how well you take care of it. And I'm going to tell you, please invest in fly line dressing and clean your lines. You'd be surprised how dirty they get, and it really affects your casting. I clean mine about every other time. I'm kind of a fanatic about that. I do it all the time, and you'll see if you don't clean it very often and you're casting and you feel like you're struggling a little, the minute you clean it, all of a sudden your line is flying through those guides because it's nice and clean. The other thing that's good to do periodically is to pull your line out and actually stretch it. You know, take it out and stretch it and stretch it and stretch it. Take it all out. You know, fly line's pretty hard to tangle up, so take it out and stretch it. Do that maybe when not every time you clean it, but those are a couple of things to remember, how you store it. But the question was, how often should I change my line, or how long does it last? So 250 days, one fishing day a week. So, you know, let's just say 4 years. 4 years is a pretty good average if you're taking care of it. Okay, today we're going to tie knots. So let me start with this. There are many, many knots that you can tie for fly fishing. That being said, there are those that will tell you that you need to know 3 knots. There are those that will tell you that you need to know 5 knots. We're going to talk about a knot today called the uni knot, which stands for universal. And honestly, if that's the only knot you knew, you could do almost everything. That being said, I'm going to show you 4 knots, which includes the uni knot. And I think with this arsenal, you'll be able to do everything you need to do. Now, before we get started, I just want to mention this one more time. So, I brought my reel, and this is Missy's reel. Now, again, if we're going to set up this reel independently of a combo, then there might be another knot or 2 that you'll want to learn how to do. Now, we're not going to take time to do that today because our recommendation is that you do this. Now, one other thing I want to mention, because Missy's reel comes prepared to fish, and then we're going to start from here, like I could start from here and out. But what I want to mention is the other idea. Instead of, if you say, oh, I'll get a combo so that it comes that way, the other thing you can do is take your new reel to a fly shop and just ask them to set it up. Now, one caution, if you do that, make sure you take the box, because every reel will call for a different amount of backing. So this reel is specific to how much backing it requires, so that when you put your fly line on, fly line will all come the same size. But every reel, depending on the size and the weight, will determine what amount of backing. So just another thought for you. You get the combo it set up. If you want to do it this way, you can take it to a fly shop, or I'm also offering that if you would like to call me, I can help you with that. Okay, so let's get started. first knot is called a clinch knot. All right, a clinch knot is how you attach your leader and or tippet to the hook. So this eye screw, I'm going to pretend like this is the eye of the hook. And I'm using old fly line because it's easier to teach and to show the knot. Now, before I get any further, in case I don't say this throughout, when you're doing this with monofilament, the most important thing you need to do is always provide some kind of, you need to wet it. There's nothing worse with monofilament. There's nothing is worse to monofilament than heat, like leaving your line laying around in the sun. So when you're cinching knots down, you're creating friction, which creates heat. So I'm just going to say it. When you tie knots, just spit on it. That's really the best way. Saliva is the best way. But today with this line, I won't be doing that. All right. So to start with the clinch knot. So the eye of the hook is here. We're going to call this the tag end. The tag end is going to go up through the eye of the hook and out. And then I'm just going to pinch it like so. Now I'm going to hold the running line this way, and I'm going to take the tag end of the hook with this finger, and I'm going to wrap it. Now again, because I'm using fly line, I'm going to wrap it 3 times, but when you're doing this with monofilament, you're going to want to do it minimum of 5, maybe 6. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to take the tag end back through that loop, hold it, pull. Secure the tag end again, finish pulling. Now, that is the finished knot. Now, this is something that I just do all the time anyway. I always take the line and I hold it in my hand and I squeeze the knot down with my fingers like that, just to secure it, make sure it's very secure. And from that point, you clip off the tag end, and there you are with a clinch knot, and you're ready to fish. So I'm going to do that one more time quickly. And by the way, I need to mention this. They do studies on knot strength, and the knots that I'm going to show you today are all simple to tie, but very efficient and very strong. So fear not the knot, it'll do its job. Okay, one more time. Tag end through the bottom of the eye of the hook. Pinch, hold your running line in your hand. Roll that line around. Now, again, if it's monofilament, it's 5 or 6 times. I'm doing it 3. Back through this eye. Pull. Secure the tag end. Squeeze it down, and you are ready to go. Clip off the tag end, and you're all set. Now, when I show you the uni knot, the uni knot is going to perform all 3 functions that I'm going to do with these knots. So there's our first knot, that's the clinch knot. I'm going to leave it sitting here so we can use it as a reference for the next one. Okay,